Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips. Little information about the Smart Fill tool. Somebody asked me a question. It's a pretty good question why I don't ever do anything, and I'm going to show you. So if I take the Smart Fill tool, and normally well, let me back up here. If you will group this together, it'll save you the time from nudging it over. And I can just fill in all these little triangular looking places. And then the last one, I can nudge that out of the way, and I can take my object and delete it, and then nudge it. Well, I don't know what happened to my little triangle. You can, my nudge factor was set on 22. Let's set on like 5. Then just nudge one of those out of the way and get that and delete it. And then if you're going to cut these out, you could left click, right click, of course, make sure they're a hairline. And what that did, that made completely separate items. Now, but the person asked me why I don't do this. So that's the Smart Fill tool. Let me just back up here. You can Smart Fill without putting color. But I'm going to nudge it to show you. So all this is one piece. I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool. I don't ever do this. I'm going to specify no fill and then specify a hairline. And then I can fill that in, and it's actually doing it in black. And look at that. It's filling them in, but using just the outline. So I don't think it's any faster because I can just take that outline away, but you can see these are different pieces of the puzzle and they're separated. The reason you'd want to use the Smart Fill tool is it does stuff like this. And you made a new item. This is 4 pieces, this is 1 curve. So this is 4 objects, that's 1 curve. Now, I don't particularly like that. And let's see if you can't fill it in red. Yes. So and it's also, I've never used it, so it's CMYK. You always want to use RGB if you're a laser engraver. And for some reason, Corel does that. Have to go through Pantone, go down to RGB, and pick red. And then when you fill it in, you can nudge it and you have I don't care what it is. If you want that shape right there you have that. There's several ways to do that. I Smart Fill and then take the color away. But that viewer must like doing it this way. And it is pretty smart because you could actually, without moving it, since this is all one piece, you could take, of course, now I've got it set on red, but you could just sit here and do this. And what that's doing is making separate files and then nudge that out of the way and then just nudge your whole thing out of the way and put that back. And then you have separate files. And if you set your nudge factor on like 1 inch, you could, there's really no up and down, but you could do stuff like this and kind of separate it, go 1 down, 1 over, whatever you want to do. So think about that, or if you ever run into that where you're not putting a fill, it's because of this right here. So I'm going to specify no outline, and I'm going to specify blue. It doesn't matter what color I put it. Anyway, in case you didn't aware of that, hope that helped. Thank you for watching.